Hey everyone, hope you guys are good.
So you would never know what just took place, but we were sat here, we were ready to go live, and then all we hear is baby. Sarah starts crying, so I'm rushing.
Just flop the show, man.
Hot. And as I'm going, we've got this timer that tells us what time it is. And he says, it's 21 hours. I'm like, no, it's time to go live. And Cyrus is waking up. Hey, T, how's it going? Hope you and your girls are good. Looking forward to the summer ahead.
For real, man.
Ooh, I tell you, I never run so fast. Run to go put him back to sleep so I can get here to be in front of you guys because we got a lot to talk about today. We got to talk because do you know what? This topic today is quite touchy. So I want to hear from you guys. We're going to share with you guys, but we want to hear from you. We want to hear your opinions, your thoughts, your comments on, because we're talking about the art of communication. We've been here for a number of weeks now. Hey, I think, I don't know, say 18, 19 weeks now, almost 5 months. We've been talking about the art of communication. And we are going to be talking today about kiss and make up. Can you really kiss and make up? When you've had some heated conversations, how quickly do you come back together to kiss and make up? Does that solve all the problems? We want to hear from you guys. We are talking about it today. If you see me wiping my face, it's because, you know, it's humid out here. And the fan is in with the boys because they can't sleep without it. So we're going to try and get through the day.
It's all mad.
We're going to try and get through the live.
Amazing.
But we have so much to talk about. So Ulrich is just doing a couple of checks right now to make sure that we are live. Everything's good on Instagram. Everything's good on Facebook. Everything's good on YouTube. Everywhere. We are nice. We're good to start. Oh my gosh, it's week 19.
That's right.
Jeez. 19 weeks we've been talking about communication. And guys, the reason why we're talking about communication is at the center of all relationships.
Yes.
At the center of it all, it's communication. And back at the start of this year, we had a divorce lawyer on with us, and she was basically sharing, saying 99% of the time when people are breaking up and getting a divorce, it's because communication was a problem. So she said it's not that the person had a problem with finances. It's not that there's a problem with, I don't know, intimacy or any of those things.
Right, yeah.
The bulk of it came down to they didn't communicate.
Sure.
And they didn't communicate now led to them going into other situations. Hey, how's it going, Senna?
100%.
Hello, Marlo. How you doing, my lovely? It's good to
welcome,
see you
guys.
here.
Welcome.
Hi, guys. It's good to have you. We are talking today, so definitely put your 2 pence worth in. We want to hear from you. We want to know your comments. We want to see how you feel. We are talking about
in the chat.
Kiss and make up.
Does
that exist? Is that a realistic expectation that we can kiss and make up after we've had some heated conversations? Is that the answer? For some people, they just want to kiss and make up straight away. They don't even want to talk about anything. They don't want to talk it out. Just hurry up and kiss me and tell me that you still love me.
Are the issues dealt with?
Exactly. Do we need to spend time
are we covering
over it?
Are we covering it up with sex and intimacy?
Ooh.
Anyway, we're gonna get into it today. So yes, guys, welcome to another Tuesday evening.
Yes.
It is super hot out there. I don't know about you guys though, because we had a serious rainstorm. Because I keep saying, like, the UK, I feel like the land just can't handle the heat.
No, it can't.
Literally, because really in you know, back home, you have the heat for weeks, even seasons, months, and then you have the rain.
Yeah.
You know, this country 2 days, and it's just like, no, I can't do it, and it's just like rain. But yeah, anyway, regardless, I hope that you are enjoying it, whether you like it when it's hot.
Yeah.
Or you don't, like me, when it gets over a particular temperature.
I love it.
Just can't do it, especially when there's no breeze. I can't do it. It's hard. But it has been a lovely day today, and I hope you've had a good one. We have had a very interesting day. Very intense. But nonetheless, we are thankful.
Yeah.
We're so thankful that we get the opportunity to spend this time with you guys. So if you're joining us for the first time, welcome to Two Love Collective.
Yeah.
If you're wondering who these really like handsome and beautiful people that are talking to you, we'll introduce ourselves. My name is Ulrich.
And I'm Siobhan.
And like I said, this is Two Love Collective. And this is the platform where we talk about all things relationships.
Yeah.
All things pertaining to all sorts of issues that we have, you know, during relationships. And we talk about it. We talk about our experiences.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have the opportunity to get other guests to come on and share their experiences. And it's been amazing since lockdown. You know, we've been doing this every single Tuesday, which has been absolutely amazing. God has given us an incredible grace to be able to do what we do, and we're so thankful and humble to continue talking about communication. Week 19, can you imagine?
Week 19.
We planned for about 5 weeks.
Yeah, we planned for 5 weeks.
Yeah,
and then we hit a couple of topics and we were like, no, we gotta stay here. We got to talk about this a bit more. And there's still more. There are still so many more areas.
100%. So yes, so at Two Love Collective, our motto is believing in love again. Because wherever you are, there's always space for you to believe in love again, whether it's a negative or positive situation. And we hope that by watching this episode, that it gets you a little bit closer to doing that.
Yeah.
All right. So as we've been harping on about, we're going to be talking about the art of communication, kiss and make up. Now, this is a very, very, very...
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Before we even continue, let me see what's okay. I'm still melting, even after the storm. Back home, we have Cool Breeze come on to help with the heat. You see, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah. But then
Marlo, yes, absolutely agree. Let's go, Senna. Fortunately, mine has come to an end. In all, we have to thank God.
See now, Senna, my heart already goes out to you.
I'm so sorry, bro.
Because to even type that message, we know that it takes courage and it takes a lot to share your heart. So if you would like us to talk online or offline, we are here. And we are definitely open to have any discussions in that vein. But we do want to talk about kiss and make up today. So if you want to share, and if any of this resonates with you, please do let us know. Definitely,
guys. Definitely second that. Cool.
So we're discussing kiss and make up. And the reason why it's a touchy subject, and I say that with inverted commas because, you know, touchy can mean something else, but it's different for every person, especially with their love languages. Now, if you've missed any of the topics that we've covered so far, please feel free to head over to our YouTube. You can catch up, you can see all of the topics that we've covered, and you can find out more. But what we're talking about is, if you've had a conflict, and it can be minor or major, is the answer kiss and make up? As in, let's not talk about this again. Let's not go over old ground. We've both heard what each other think. Let's just kiss and move on. Or is it actually, I don't want to even be touched right now because I'm processing.
Yeah.
And that in itself can be a conflict, because I know for some people, if their love language is touch, the first instance that they want is they want a hug, they want a kiss, they want to feel like they're moving past this. Whereas for others, they're like, no, we still need to talk about this because we haven't actually arrived at a conclusion. We don't know where we stand. I remember I was speaking with a friend and she was sharing that she had a breakdown in her relationship, and one of the problems that she had faced was when she'd have a disagreement with her husband, he didn't want to discuss it again later. So let's say they have a disagreement on one day and they have a big falling out about it. Trying to go back to now address the issue, it could never happen. It was just kiss and make up, let's move on. And that already showed us This could be an issue for a lot more people. So we want to hear from you guys. How do you feel about kissing and making up?
Absolutely. I think it's very, very it's subjective, I think. Not even I think, I'm pretty sure I know. It's very subjective to your own experience and your own makeup, because I think and obviously when we're talking about kissing and making up, obviously we're talking about however you as a couple, whether married or unmarried, how do you essentially make up? Do you understand? For the marriage folk, it's usually sex, and
for the unmarried
and for the unmarried folk,
it's still sex.
It might be. No, I'm joking. It shouldn't be. But yeah, it might be other things. Do you understand? Yeah. But I think we're talking about it from a perspective of intimacy, of sex. And I think it really depends on your makeup, because I think some people are able to detach from the act of sex. Because it's almost like, well, if we're arguing and we're upset with each other, then why should it affect that? Why should it affect us having sex? And I think it kind of boils down to how you view it. Because for many people, sex is just that. It's just an act. It's an act of pleasure. And so there isn't emotion and connection and things being aligned shouldn't have anything to do with it.
And I love what you said, because
what do you guys think?
So that we're getting comments already. So a lot of people say sex is more of mental. It's more mental.
Yeah. It can be a band-aid to move past an issue instead of dealing with it. Absolutely.
Yes.
And I like the fact that you said that, Marlo, because we're saying that it's a band-aid, right? The interesting thing about put a plaster, for those people that don't know what I'm talking about, but for those people who know about when you have a cut, right?
It's good.
A lot of times when you have a cut, instantly we automatically kind of gear towards, we need to cover it up.
Yeah.
Right? And technically, yes, but I think if my science doesn't want to fail me today, right? Scientifically, you're supposed to leave it open so that it can dry.
Yeah. Because
sometimes when you cover up a cut too quickly before you allow the cells to start regenerating or the blood to clot and all that kind of stuff, it gets like wet and soggy, and there's no oxygen to allow it to come together. So that's how I see things. So sometimes when there is an issue, like you said, Marlo, that plaster goes on to cover it up.
Yeah.
But the problem is it doesn't deal with the issue. Because generally, if you have a cut, if you wipe it clean, if you deal with
painful,
very painful.
Painful.
But if you deal with the actual dirt and the things that will cause continual, I don't want to say infestation because that's not the right word, but anything that will cause the wound to continue to be open and not heal. If you deal with that and clean it, then what essentially happens is the air now allows the skin to now regerminate the cells.
And I know that it feels like we've gone really deep scientific, but I can relate to it. So I got a cut on my toe. I had a cut on my toe, and I said to OOiiii last night, "Oh my gosh, I've got a cut on my toe. How did this happen?" And it's right, like in the bend
of your toe,
of my foot, before the base of my foot and in between my toe, and this cut is sore. And OOiii's like, "You're gonna have to put some antibacterial on it." And I was like, I don't want to do that. It's gonna be painful. Long and short of it, I put some antibacterial on it this morning, and gosh, the thing did sting. It was painful. I felt it. But I had to keep saying to myself, "Shimon, you're gonna have to ride it through the pain. You have to ride through this pain because it's on your foot. So it's much easier to get infected and so on and so on.
Come
We
on.
say all of that to say, in our relationships, we want sometimes to have the feel good rather than the not so feel good. And some of us, we would rather walk away from a relationship, even after we've invested in the person for years and years, than deal with some of the painful truths that we may not like to hear. So the person may be saying something to us that is painful to hear, but at the end of the day, we have to grow in that. It doesn't feel nice, but we have to grow. And I love what Kaon said about the mental and the physical, because at the end of the day, sometimes you can get into the pleasure act and so on and so on, and you're enjoying the physical side of things, and you've kind of, like you said, detached, you've compartmentalized in your brain not to think about what this person said that hurt you, or what this person rather that you kind of switch off
100%,
and you go into this kind
100%.
of autopilot where you're just like, okay, I don't want to think, I just want to feel. I want
the
how
escapism.
Exactly how I feel to lead.
Wow,
rather than
that's crazy.
The truth of what is before me, because it's painful, and nobody wants to go through that. But like even Marlo has written here, it truly delays the healing, the Band-Aid process. It needs cleaning first, indeed.
Definitely.
You guys are you're blowing up the chat. I love it.
Mature and fruitful relationships have to endure uncomfortable conversations or for growth.
That's true. And like Kyla said, no pain, no gain.
And I think it's such a powerful, and Marlo, thank you so much for that, just for that illustration, because it definitely triggered something in me, because I think even for us, you know, we like to keep it 100. I think for us, we've even had to like look within ourselves. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because a lot of times when we have arguments, it's like it's a clash. It's very difficult for us to necessarily like kiss and just make up, just for kissing and making up sake. Because when we're not aligned, it causes all kinds of problems. And I think this is why I keep saying it's subjective, because sometimes it depends on the type of relationship that you have. Do you understand? Because for us, and I'm only talking about the really deep and sometimes hurtful arguments that we have. Do you understand? Because it's not just any little tiny disagreement. Be like, what are you talking about? You got.
But that's where keep going, sorry.
No, but that was essentially it, because I think we have to kind of, like you said, categorize, you know, the kind of level and the scope of the argument, because sometimes the level of hurt as well. Do you understand? Because if something has been really painful, which is kind of like, you know, for me anyway, it definitely stays with me. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you guys all know, like, unforgiveness was my issue. Do you know what I mean? When we first got married, and it was a proper thing, and every little thing Siobhan did around the house, I was just like,
I know,
I won't talk to her, and just,
then it was just like, you know what I mean? Cried out softly. When are we going to get back?
Yeah, definitely. But that didn't necessarily mean intimacy, though.
Yeah, no, it didn't mean intimacy. But the problem that it started to do is, if let's say something came up Monday, and then we fell out Monday, and we didn't really get to resolve it properly until Tuesday night once we came back from work, and then you're up till late, and then Wednesday you're trying to come back to kiss and make up properly, and then and it was just like, this is actually hanging over us.
But I'm glad that you said that, because I think that is another issue as well.
What's that?
When life happens. Because you can have an argument, and sometimes there isn't time to kiss and make up.
And that's the truth.
Because life happens. You've got to sort out the kids, then you got work, then you got a meeting, then you got something that you booked that you didn't say on the Tuesday, and then you have to go. You got something in the morning that you got to wake up. Like, and so by the time you
get to kiss
check your time, it's like, oh,
this has been 3 or 4 days.
It's been 3 or 4 days, man. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so I guess the reason why we're going down these kind of various routes is because what we're trying to do is we're trying to get to the kind of point that what is happening to the issue? What is happening to the issue? Are we using the kiss and make up just to get there? Are we even spanner in the works? Are we arguing so we can kiss and make up?
Because I've heard that when I was growing up, people used to say, "Oh, makeup sex is the best sex." Okay, so does that mean
you're willfully
you're okay falling out, like, and you fall out
because you know what's coming,
or you fall out with one another and you say the most outlandish things so that when you touch again, it's
a mad thing, you know. It's like
even more intimate. It feels even sexier. My question.
We're just throwing it out there
because I think that the psychoanalysis of how we like to be treated, it kind of like pleasure and pain. You know, what was that? Is it cranberry juice? It used to be, it can't be wet and dry at the same time. It can't be pleasure and pain at the same time. So it's almost like, is it a juxtaposition that we're putting together? And if it is, then do we have to look at, okay, so why do I want to be in this turmoil, angry, hurt, aggravated space?
Yeah.
But then couple it with the complete flip. The high, the ecstasy, the fulfillment, it is quite a toxic mindset, as you said, Kate. On already, it kind of just makes me think.
But it makes it.
Wow.
But this is it. It just. That's exactly what it's there to do. Do you get what I mean? It's there to make you think, because I think sometimes we can. I think it's easier for some people to just say, "Oh, let's just make up," when the issue doesn't get dealt with. And I think that's really the root of this live. It's like, let's get to the root, because if we don't get to the actual root of it, and we just allow it to be brushed over, the brush over sometimes can mean two things for the two people who are in it. For one person, it might be, okay, yeah, we're cool. We don't need to come back to this.
Yeah.
But for another person, it could be, okay, I'm just gonna endure this because I know that you need this.
Oof.
Do you understand? So that you can feel better about yourself.
And now that is a big deal, because okay, so let's be real. If you are a female and you know that you've been upset with your guy, but you also don't want him leaving the house feeling like, well, I wanted to release and you were still vexed with me, so are you going to now engage in an intimate exchange so that you can have in your mind, well, then he won't be hungry, so if a girl walks past him and tries to look at him a certain way, he's not going to get distracted?
Ouch.
Is it a tactic?
Sex for keeps.
Exactly. Like, is it a marking your territory kind of thing? Is it if he doesn't get some tonight, he might move on? Or do you get what I'm trying to say? Is it now, you know, like some people, they like, oh yeah, well, they use it as a weapon with regards to, well, if I don't give it to him, then he will come back, if you get what I mean. He'll have to keep me, like I'll keep him waiting kind of thing. But then on the flip side, are you using it to put it out there so that you think that he's gonna stay instead of him looking other ways? Because at the end of the day, I just think to myself, and I ask this question solely because I think if you are having to use sex to make a person stay with you, I think there are some questions about if you had to remove, if sex was off the table, would they want to stay?
But I think we need to reel it back into perspective, because this sex thing, we are talking about it from the context of marriage.
Okay.
I ain't even playing around. I'm sorry if I'm shifting it.
Okay,
because the only reason why I'm saying that is because, and I understand that issue can still happen within marriages.
Yeah.
Unless we can talk about that. But the reason why I want to shift it back is because when it's outside of marriage,
all kinds.
It opens too many other questions.
Doors. Yeah.
Do you understand? So yeah, let's keep it in the
Okay. But even if it is in the marriage,
I think in the marriage, if that is what is happening, then obviously that definitely needs attention. Do you understand? It needs accountability. It needs some sort of deeper counseling just to find out what's going on, because obviously those types of insecurities, I think anyway, at that level of relationship, I would assume, and maybe it's a wrong assumption, but I would assume that by you being at a place of being married, there's a particular level of maturity. But then at the same time, I know that there might have been some hurts and some things maybe that were not dealt with.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And I think this is why this live is so important, because it's now putting the magnifying glass on the issues that haven't been dealt with, that are being covered up with multiple plasters. And so what's happening is the infection is growing. So even though the plaster is on the wound, it gives a signal that healing should be taking place.
Yeah.
But actually,
it's not going to.
It's not. It's actually being pushed far under the carpet. And so what happens is when you rip it off, you realize that there's even a bigger issue.
Yeah.
And I think it's sometimes because things are not dealt with at the time, they're left to sever and build.
Yeah. Somebody
said to me years ago, that sometimes people use help and counseling when they call the fire brigade.
Yeah.
When the house is burnt down, instead of calling the fire brigade when they smell smoke.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And I think sometimes, even when you know in yourself that this is something difficult to talk about with your spouse or with your partner, you need to find ways of either communicating to them or getting help. And there's nothing wrong with getting help.
Definitely.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, quite a number of the people who we counsel, a lot of times it's just an avenue for them to talk.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're just not a lot of time, but quite a bit of the time, we're just mediating.
Yeah.
Do you understand? We're letting them have that space to communicate. And I think that there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing to feel ashamed about by doing that, because what it does is it's actually beneficial, because in some ways you get to say what you probably would never say to the person if it was just the two of you, because now you have somebody to help you mediate that. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely.
So Kiss and Make Up, guys, it's quite striking, that title, because automatically you think, oh yeah, give me a kiss, let's make up, I'm so sorry, I still love you, da, da, da. And all those things are true. However, are we covering it up? Are we using that title to cover up issues? Or are we actually saying to ourselves, you know what, no, let's talk?
Yeah.
Because what you said really hurt.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And yes, we can kiss, we can make up, but I'm still hurt. And the kissing and the makeup could be so much deeper, but because it's a cover-up, we don't really get true intimacy. It's just sex.
Powerful. There's nothing worse than when it's just detached sex. It's not intimate. It's not meaningful. It's just you're in the room, but you're not in the moment. You're there. Your body is there, but your mind, your emotions, your intention, it's just rushed. It's just, let's do this. And then you come out of the moment and you get dressed or whatever you do, and you're back to where you were. like you're literally in autopilot,
Yeah.
which is mad. So just going back to some of these comments.
Yes.
So so we had, it's a toxic mindset, and it means there's no trust and a lot of insecurities. Now that is powerful, because the insecurities brings up a whole set of a new wave, basically. And it can be a soul tie as well. And I love what Tia said, because she said sometimes it can heal. So sometimes you can heal and cut, but it still leaves a scar. And that is just, it's the scar. It's the scar tissue that other people now have to deal with. Because if you've been through stuff when you're younger, like, and Kayon has just touched on it as well, where she said, or past trauma can cause those insecurities. So like what Tracy said, the scar is there. You've got now the effects thereof, the insecurities. And if it's unresolved,
it's true.
It's the baggage that comes into the new relationship. It's the next expectation that the person doesn't even know you have.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
And then it's covered, if it is expectations, where the person now, you're now expecting that this is how you do love, this is how you do express, that you want to make up. And I guess just bringing it back, because something that I was thinking about when you were sharing is, do we find that some couples are not having the kiss and make up? Hey, Stace. Some couples are not experiencing the kiss and make up because they don't want to have the rejection.
Ooh.
So let's say you've had a falling out. Do you feel like one person does the coming to the other person to try and kiss and make up, and the other person doesn't come to them because they don't want to feel rejected if they were the cause of the conflict in the first place, or the reason why there was a fallout?
That's a good point. Yeah.
You know, like, are we finding that there is hindrance to the kiss and make up? Because at the end of the day, it's pride as well. You know, like, you want to feel like you're not groveling. And are some people using that to rub it in your face? You know, like, oh, so now you want me.
Yeah.
Oh, so now you want to come and kiss up and hug up, and when you was carrying on the way you was carrying on when you were cussing me out.
It's true.
And then
that's why some married couples haven't intimate for years.
Exactly. And then you don't get to have your kiss and make up. You've dealt with the issue, you've spoken about the issue, but like you said, if you're still hurt and you haven't forgiven, your kiss and make up can't even take place. Because
so now check this though, because now you triggered something, because Marlo's just asked the same question that I was thinking. So what is kiss and make up? Because my understanding of kiss and make up is when you are prepared to forgive. Because your kissing and make up is basically identifying your wrong in that argument. Yeah. And so both people, depending on, I mean, I don't really even want to get into the whole thing of who's right and who's wrong, but identifying the part that you played.
Yeah. What you did wrong.
And coming together and saying, you know what, I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
For the part that I had to play.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry for hurting you. That's my understanding of it. So for me, when that doesn't happen, it makes it difficult to kiss and make up. Do you understand? And this is what I'm saying is subjective, because it depends on the temperature of your relationship and how the two of you basically vibe. Because if it's okay for there not to be apology and a coming together and a forgiveness,
powerful,
and it's okay to skip that process and just go straight to kiss and make up, then really you're not kissing and making up. You're just having sex.
Eek.
That's what I would say. It's harsh. It's harsh, but I'm so glad that Marlo said it, and I'm so glad that you said what you said, because I'm a stickler for definitions. Do you understand what I'm saying? So we have to define things, and we need to figure out what is this thing actually about. So this is my definition. Please, if I'm wrong or if you feel differently, please let me know your thoughts, because I think we want to know what people think. But I think this is where the rubber hits the road. Yeah. This is where effective kiss and making up happens, because it's the dropping of pride. It's the dropping of being right as well.
You have to let that go. Because at the end of the day, you have some people who are wrong and strong, or you've got some people who are, no, I'm right. And you need to say that I'm right. And I need to be able to tell you, see, I told you so. So when you get to that point, there is a problem, because now it makes it even more difficult for the person to say, okay, I want to come. I want to come back.
Yeah. And I think that's where the conflict comes, because it's like if one person has been made to feel lower than or less than, or even to the extreme of feeling oppressed, where it's always, no, you are wrong. Do you understand? I am right. And this is for male or female.
If it's lorded.
Do you understand? Because there's some, people that we met where the woman is just like, she ain't playing. She's right. She's always right. And there's other situations where it's complete opposite, where the guy is just like, don't come to me. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think we're going to leave you with that. Looking at the definition of what kiss and make up is for you. Is the temperature of our relationship being correctly measured to make sure
that's good,
that conducive, like the atmosphere is conducive for true kiss and make up?
Come on. I think that we can't rush any stages.
No,
we can't say let's skip that step, or let's microwave that step.
That's right.
Or let's jump that step. And also, we can't labor over some things when we should have kissed and made up already.
True.
Because there are some things that are now prolonging and delaying.
That's
where you guys should have been like, listen, we are maturing in this thing.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's say early stages in marriage, kiss and make up may have taken a longer time to take place, because the two of you had to come to a deeper understanding to iron out what were the problems in the first place. The two becoming one is the season of grating, basically. And you have two completely different people meshing together, clashing and growing, but they're learning how to become one.
Yeah.
Which is cool. But it does mean there's conflict. In that season, it may take you longer to kiss and make up, because you're learning more about each other.
Definitely.
It is painful. You're growing through more, and you're learning how to forgive quickly. You're learning how to process hurt and process emotion and your expectation, and learn about the person and learn about yourself.
Yeah.
As time progresses, that learning time should be shortening.
It's true. 100%.
That conflict time should be shortening. And the kiss and make up time should be shortening, or should be arriving at
quicker,
a lot quicker pace. Because if you're still taking 3, 4, 5 days to kiss and make up, there's a problem. You shouldn't be taking that long in the first place. It's not healthy for your communication in your home. So now the question is, if now you don't kiss and make up over some of the smaller things, what happens when adversity really hits? What happens when financial insecurity comes, or a loss in a grieving family member, a death or sickness, or the kind of things you can't plan for, but life hits you with? If you're not able to kiss and make up, there's a problem.
Definitely. And I think guys, I don't want you guys to feel a particular way if you are in that situation where it's difficult, because we know that sometimes it takes time.
Yeah.
And age is not an indicator of maturity as well.
That's it.
So we have to remember that in order to get to a particular level of maturity, means that you are willing to deal with the hard things. Do you understand? Because if you position yourself to say, you know what, I'm going to open myself to learn how to navigate this area.
That's good.
And face it head on, it builds your maturity. Do you understand? But what we want you guys to be encouraged about is that this thing doesn't always happen overnight. Do you understand? It takes time. but it takes deliberate time, because sometimes we can allow time to just go and you're just anyhow.
Yeah.
But you have to be deliberate
about it.
About your communication. You have to be deliberate about, even when it hurts and even when it's hard, trying your best to be deliberate about coming together and just saying, okay, cool. So where are we at? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Hey.
And yeah, guys, I fully believe that, you know, we'll be able to walk in a level of forgiveness and believing in love again. Because that's the true root of Kiss and Make Up. It's coming together again
and choosing
to say, you know what, let's do this right, as hard as it is, because for us, boy, sometimes it's difficult.
It's not easy.
It's difficult because I think, and as Siobhan was saying, it's like as you get older in marriage years, you deal with different things. Do you understand? And yes, it is quicker to it should be quicker to forgive.
Yeah.
But sometimes some things happen, and sometimes it may be difficult.
Or it may bring something up from your past that you haven't dealt with, like what Kayon was saying. Some of these things, it may go back to a past trauma, and the minute it happens, your Kiss and Make Up is just it's in a different place, and it's in a different ballpark, because what you're now processing is years worth of hurt. And like we said about the years worth of hurt, if you've been in a relationship and you've been scarred or you've been hurt by it, and then you now to try to go into a new chapter in your life, if you haven't seen Kiss and Make Up displayed accurately, if you haven't seen how to process hurt and emotion, this thing can be misplaced. It's like, for some people, if you've only seen how to kiss and make up is to buy a gift, Lord Jesus, what are you going to do with your pocket?
It's true.
Are you going to buy a gift every time the two of you need to make up? Are you going to, if you've only seen your parents argue and the way that they kissed and made up was like by doing something for someone, do you now feel like every time you have a conflict, you now have to do something? You have to do a grand gesture by taking it, like you see it in the movies, you see it in these TV shows, and it's a wrong portrayal of communication. Because at the root, we are trying to communicate. So I just think, you know, like when we get to the stage that we are now not talking, are we in the relationship for the right reasons?
Come on.
Because generally, if we're at this stage where we just want to be with someone, we don't want to explore what life would be like if there was someone better than what we're in now. You know, like, are we settling?
Wow. That's deep.
To stay in this relationship, to stay in this feeling, rather than going for the person that we know that we know that we're entitled to. And I don't want to say entitled because that can be misconstrued, but I guess every person should be in love with the person they're with, rather than I'm staying here in the fear that I might not get the love that I need from someone else. So if I get love at 20%, then let me stay here at my 20%.
At least it's something.
And then you're stuck with all these red flags that you know, this is not really for me.
It's not the one. It's not purpose. It's not purpose.
You said it.
It's not purpose.
You said it.
And guys, that's what it comes down to, you know. Like we've spoken to so many couples, and you just can't escape collective purpose. Don't let it be about the 5 senses. Don't let it be about the touchy feely and even the visuals. All those things are important, but don't let that be what it's based on.
Because it won't produce the staying power.
It won't, because you've got to dig. You've got to get deeper and make sure that foundation is in God. It's in something greater than yourself. Because if it's in you, it's not going to last. Because just like your beauty and your figure and all that stuff diminishes over time, if it's in you, it's not everlasting. But when it's in God, man, it's timeless.
It's renewing.
Do you understand? It's something that can be rebirthed through your children, because they see something that you started to build, and then they say, you know what, I'm going to catch that fire and take it. It's generational. It's beyond you. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I think that is what God intends for each and every single person.
So true.
Because it doesn't have to be like us. It doesn't have to be like your next door neighbor, but it's unique to you. And once you find it, I'm telling you, you're gonna just get propelled to there's a grace that comes with it.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? And even when you have your problems and your disagreements and your what's it called, divorce is not an option. Why? Because you know why you're in here. So you embrace the conflict even though it hurts.
Absolutely.
You embrace the pain. It's like somebody who's training or trying to get fit or trying to lose weight. Their purpose or their goal is to lose that weight.
That's good.
So when they're in the gym and the personal trainer saying, give me 2 more, they are crying, but they know that they are embracing that pain because of the goal that they're trying to reach.
That's good.
And if our goal for relationship, if our relationship goals can only be fixed on getting to purpose, then you know that once you step into it, and you know its purpose, you enjoy that pain because you know what you're trying to get to. You know what you're called to do.
You know why.
Because me and Siobhan, she ain't going nowhere because I'm gonna follow her. Even if I upset her to the I'm gonna follow. Where are you going? You're not going nowhere. Because we've got something that's greater than us that we need to do together.
That's
we can't even afford to allow ourselves. Not even afford. We can't allow ourselves to get taken away by disagreements.
So true.
Guys, sorry. This is supposed to be kiss and make up and talk about purpose. But it all comes in. It's all tied in. It's all tied in. But yes, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to end it here. We're trying to be nice. See, we're trying to be mature with our time. Trying to keep it under an hour, you know? But yeah, guys, I really hope that that's been of value to you in some way. Because, wow, talking about this stuff just gets me pumped up and fired up, man.
Yes, it ignites a fire. Because
I think that's why we love talking about this stuff, because indirectly we're speaking into our own marriage. We're speaking because... And this is why this communication thing has been deep. And those of you who might have missed last week, definitely go and check it out, because we were very vulnerable about a disagreement that we had recently. Because we are in some ways accountable to you guys. Because we've been challenged by our communication.
We can't talk it and then not live it.
And that's one of the things that I've always said to Siobhan. I don't want to preach nothing that I don't live. Do you understand? So even in our struggles, we have a responsibility to share elements of that so that you guys can know that it's work in progress. Do you understand? It's not perfection. We're a work in progress. We're getting to perfection. Do you understand? So be encouraged, guys. Be encouraged. Okay? You can make it. You can make it. Trust me. And you will find him. You will find her.
That's right.
Just continue to trust God.
That's right.
Lean not on your own understanding, but just rest on him and he'll direct your path. Trust me. All right. Okay, guys, we're going to be out. Need to cool down and drink something, boy, because this heat is just too much. But yes, guys, we really appreciate you. You could have been watching Netflix.
Could have been watching
Disney. Could have been watching Prime.
That's right.
And you decided to stay with us.
Thank you.
And guys, honestly, we truly appreciate it. Thank you. Jesus loves me. Shads. Wow, I always catch the end. These talks are amazing. Yeah, we're gonna post this one definitely. We're gonna try and post these Insta lives because we've been getting quite a few comments about them. So yes, guys, have an incredible rest of the week, and we will definitely be here next week at 9 p.m. So
Celebrate
check
God.
us out then. All right, guys. Good night.
Bye.
Bye. All right, I did that one.